Okay, so today we're going to be making an origami crane. And part of learning origami is to be able to, to have the discipline, to have good craftsmanship, make the folds really nice, precise, and more importantly, to learn to really pay attention to the detail of the visual instructions. Yes, most origamis do have some words, but a lot of times it's just really about looking at things visually in detail. So I have three um, instruction sheets here. I find that this one is pretty good, and this one that has no words and is just purely visual has also a lot of good details to look at. But we're going to just choose one to follow along with. So I'm going to choose this one right here to follow along with. Now, your origami crane will look something like this at the end, right? And when it's nicely folded, it's very much like this. And then we will pull them out and we will curve the wings. And there's a little hole down here that we can blow air into that makes this part balloon up and pop out. All right, so let's go ahead, let's get started. So here I have a piece of origami paper. It has a color on both sides. So we're going to choose one of the colors. Let's see, maybe we'll choose this green color right in here. And what happens here is step one, we're going to fold it in half, right? And you can see this arrow and the dash. The dash lines signifies a valley fold. And a valley fold is very much like this. Let's see here, I have a paper here. So here we have dashes. That means that you fold it this way. That's what a valley fold is. A mountain fold, which will be somewhere in here, maybe not, is when you see a dash and a dot together in sequence, right? So you see a dot, dash, dot, dash. That is a mountain fold, which looks like this, like a mountain. So we have our valley and our mountain. Another thing that you will see with origami instructions is this the curly arrow. The curly arrow means to take your image, or not your image, but your origami fold, and to turn it over. It does not mean rotate. It means to actually flip it over. And you're going to see that down in here. So let's get started. First things first, we're going to fold this in half, just as it says here. We're going to fold it in half. So I'm going to go ahead, I'm going to fold this in half. And what I want to do is I really want to get this really lined up right in here. And once I have it really nice and lined up right in there, right, I'm going to first go down the middle, just like this, down the middle. Then I'm going to hold it there, and then I will go increase it to the left and right. So I want to go hold it, go down the middle, and then left and right. After step two is we're going to fold it over this way. So I'm going to take this and I'm going to fold it over this way. But again, sometimes what you see here is that the paper kind of crinkles up in here. And one of the things you want to do first is to go ahead and, kind of give it that curved creasing that you do like this, or like this. You can do this. And what that does is it really, eliminates and makes it a nice smooth curve. So we're going to go ahead, line it up right in here, really nicely, right? Really nicely right in there, and gently go down. And I'm going to go down the middle right here, and then I will go left and right. Okay. Now, in this next step, you will see that there is like an arrow, but it's kind of like a fat arrow like this. Kind of looks like this. When you see something like this in origami, it means that there's some kind of a pocket or some kind of an opening that you need to open up. So when we look at our design, our folded piece here, we can see that there's two pockets. There's one right here and one right in here, right? Two pockets. So we're going to go with the first pocket up on top. And we're going to make sure that our orientation is correct, that we are not looking at this like this or like this, that it's actually like this, and it's not like this, right? See how this is pointing down? No, we want it to be like this, just like the instructions. So I'm going to go ahead, and it's going to look like that. We're going to pop this open, and we're going to open this up, and then we're going to flatten it out. We're going to just go ahead and flatten it out this way. Now, before I do that, I want to, once again, I want to make sure that down here that I am lined up nice. Put my finger there, hold it. Now, when I come here, I'm going to see that there's some crinkles right in there and that the paper is not behaving the way I want it to. So I want to gently come in here with my finger and kind of smooth it out, hold this down, tap it lightly, get this nice. And then I'm going to line this up right there, line it up really nice. Really nice. Then I can gently go this way and this way. So you want to avoid doing this thing where you find a fold and you go like that. No, you want to gently go in there, and then you can, really tighten up that crease. So over here in this step, you're going to see that there's a curly arrow right over here. And we can match our drawing. A lot of times you want to match the drawing, match what it is there to see that you have the correct orientation of the paper for the folds. So I'm going to turn this over, right? I'm going to turn it over like that. And now I see that there's another arrow, another fat arrow in here to open up this pocket. But there's also a valley fold right here. So what happens is, right now we have a mountain fold. And so if I try to open this up to flatten it out, it's just not going to work, see? It's just going to keep doing this. And you're like, wait a second, how am I going to, fold this? So what we have to do is we have to reverse this fold that's right in here in this paper. So I'm going to go ahead and hold my hand here. And even right there, right on that edge, I'm going to put my fingernail right there. And I'm just going to gently, with my palm, kind of reverse this fold that was there. It was a mountain, and now I've made it into a valley. So now we have a valley on this side and this side. Okay, so this makes it easier now to go ahead and repeat steps 3 and 4, because that's what it says here. Open and flatten the pocket like 3 and 4. So we go back to 3 and 4. Basically, it's telling you, go ahead and do the same thing you did on the other side, right? We're going to open this up. We're going to make sure that our points are really nice in here. And then I'm just going to gently get rid of those hard crinkles here on the edges. And then I'm going to go down, tap it down very lightly, just like this. Make sure I got it just right, and I'm good to go. All right, so we should have a nice little diamond or square if you'd like. And what I want you to notice is in the pictures for the next step, step 7, you're going to see in the details there's like a lot of little folded papers right in here. And that information visually is important. It's trying to tell you that you need to be like this. You cannot be like this. See, this is very different. Look at the bottom. Very different than being like this. This is how you have to be. And we can look at other instructions, and you will see, like even in here, you'll see that they will do the same thing right down in here. You'll see that it has the nice multiple paper scraps right in there. All right. So our next step, we're going to do a valley fold, and a valley fold. It's basically like an upside down triangle. And we're only going to do this first layer of paper. We're not going to do both. We're going to do one. And we're going to meet, or we're going to align this edge with the center creased edge. So here I go, right? I'm going to put my fingernail right there. Sometimes that really helps when I put my fingernail right there, and I can kind of meet that line. So you can see how that helps when I put my fingernail there. And then instead of going like that, I'm going to kind of pat, 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 and now I've got that really nice, crispy edge right in there. So we'll do the same thing on the other side. Hold it right there. I'm going to curve it. Sometimes, see right here, you can also go like this a little bit right here on the sides, just so that you can really curve it a little bit nicely. So I'm going to go in there. You can see I'm going to kind of gently begin folding it down. And there you go. So you can see that it's really nice and crispy, really nice and sharp. You've got to try your best to make it sharp on all folds and make it as perfect as you can from beginning. The last fold that we need to do is this one. This is going to go and fold from corner to corner along this edge completely, right? And this should line up with the center. So we're going to go ahead and I'm going to line that up, push it as much as I can. And there we go. All right. Now, I'm going to open this up and I'm going to take the first flap and I'm going to flatten the pockets. So this part is kind of confusing at first to understand. So just watch. We're going to open this up like this, okay? And you're going to see that it does that, right? It just kind of does that. And we're going to just lift this first paper layer up. Now, when I lift this layer up, right, if you try to do this where you see how I pop this open like this, it's not going to work. This thing flattened is not going to work. The next step, what you need to do is put your finger right there where that fold is. See that fold right there? You're going to put your finger there and you're going to open this up. Then I'm going to put my finger right there. So you see, if I put my finger there, all I have to do is just go ahead and reclose this. And then over here, I've got to, these are mountain folds. They need to become valley. So they need to go inward like that. And sometimes you got to fix these little corner tips right over here. So here I go, kind of folding this in, reversing that fold. Because down here I have this one. This one's easy down here. This one is the one that I have to be very gentle and get back in like this. Okay, sometimes if you hold the paper up, then you can come in here and just very, very carefully move this up. All right. So there it is, right? This should look very much like these two images. And now if I close it and do it again, you can see what happens, right? You have it like this. Right? You're going to put your finger there. You're going to open it up. You're going to flatten that out. Put your finger there. Then you're going to go boom, boom, and then close it up like that. Okay, so step 10 says turn it over and repeat step 7, 8, and 9. So we're going to take this, right? It should match our image, and it does. I'm going to turn it over, and now I'm going to repeat step 7, 8, and 9. So here we go. Fold it, line up edge to edge, edge to edge, right in here, edge to edge. Now this one, we're going to take it now and let's go the other way. Open it up. We have our upside down triangle. I'm going to take this flap, lift the flap up, put my finger here to hold it down, and then I'm going to put my finger there. It's very important. This part it's really critical. You put your finger there, and then you put your finger there to hold down that fold. So this side is easy, right? We got this side, but it's up here where you have to finesse these folds because they are mountains and we have to reverse the mountain and make it be a valley. You're just inversing the fold. And so you see, sometimes we get this problem right here. So you just got to be gentle. And with your finger on the inside, just get it. And then, just gonna, kind of find that crease, find that fold before we really press it hard. And then there we go. We got this one. And now I want to do the same thing here, right? Right in here. I'm going to reverse that fold. All right. There we go. Okay. Next step. We're almost done here, everybody. So we're in step 12. Step 12. This is very critical because look, right now, this looks the same on this side. It looks the same on this side. It looks the same upside down. And, the thing you need to know is before you do this next step, you've got to make sure that you see how we've got like these little legs here, that these little legs are pointing down, that you are not like this. This is not it. It's got to be this way. The other thing too that happens, and I've seen with students, is that they accidentally, who knows how it happens, they sometimes take this piece right here and it flips over like this, and they're looking at a piece, or they even flip both sides, and they're looking at a piece that looks, an image that looks like this. See that? It almost looks like it's a fox with the two ears. This is wrong. This is not right. And the way to fix this is to, again, fold this piece up and fold this piece up. It's got to look just like this. All right? Okay. I hope that doesn't confuse you guys. It's just in case some of you don't understand what happened to your piece. All right, so here we are. Same on both sides. Legs are pointing down. We've got this right in there in the middle like that, right? Okay, next step. We have to do another fold in here where we bisect this angle and we're meeting it edge to edge. And it looks like this. And you only do one flap at a time. Don't do both. Just one here. Leave that one alone. And we're going to line it up right there, right on that edge. This is what the tail and the neck are going to be. These are the wings. This is the tail and neck. It's got to be really nice. So I've got that edge there. Let's do the next one. Right there. Got that. Okay, it should look like this. This is what I did. All I did was take that and fold it in. Now, we're going to turn it around and do the same thing on the other side. Again, it'll be nice and precise. Fold this right there. Okay, just like that. I'm going to take this and fold it like that. A lot of times students make the mistake and they fold it this way. And it's like, no, that's not it. It's edge to edge. Edge to edge. Okay. So here we are. All right. Now, these instructions right here of how to make the tail and the neck can be confusing. You're not quite sure like what this means with the arrow and this valley fold and the transparent arrow and what have you. So what I've come up with is this technique of how to do it. Okay, just listen up. Now we have the legs here. See the legs? I'm going to take and I'm going to pinch and hold right here, right where the legs stop, right there. So I have it pinched there. Okay, everyone? Then I'm going to take this and I'm going to flatten this out as if it was like an airplane. And I'm going to take this tip and pull up. Now, when I pull up like this, you're going to notice, right? Keep this open and pull up. Right? You want to keep that open. You're going to notice that it already kind of wants to fold right here. And that's what you want to do. See, I'm going to put my finger here and then I want to kind of close it again. See, I'm closing it again. And as I close it, I want to keep this middle fold right in here. I don't want to do a sloppy fold. I want to keep it nice and angled right there. Now, don't fold it up here like this. You want to pull this down a little bit, like a 45-degree angle. Then I go ahead and I press. And then I press here. And then I keep this right here. Now, how can I tell which side is going to be the head and which side is going to be the tail? Well, to be honest with you, the side that doesn't look so great, that becomes the head. And then the side that's nice and perfect becomes the tail. That's what I do. So now I'm going to do the other side, right? Again, I'm going to pinch it right there. See, I'm pinching it right there. And when I keep it pinched, then I take my finger and I flatten this out while it's pinched. And then I take my thumb and I pull up and I'm flattening this. And you see how there's an angle here already? That's what's happening, right? Now, flatten this, and then I'm going to, again, I didn't let go. I'm still pinching it here. Flatten that, and then I'm just going to kind of, fold it right there. Fold it, angle it down a little bit. And then, see, this is going to be a problem right here. So I've got to get them in here. Really try to get that fold right in there because we're reversing the fold. Right in there. All right. There it is. Now, the tails or the head, you can, angle it down or angle it up. It depends on how you like it. You want to make sure that's all the way to the back. Okay? And so we're going to make this the head. So how do we do that? I'm going to pinch here again. And then I'm going to open this flap up. Like this. So you see this? All right, I have it pinched. I'm going to flatten this out with my thumb. And then I'm going to take my fingernail and then push and reverse that fold right in there. And then I squeeze it in. And that should work just fine. Just like that. So here's my crane. I'm going to now open up the wings. Okay, open up the wings by pulling like this. And I can curve the wings like this if I'd like. Just like that. And down in here, there's a little hole. When you pull, you're going to see there's a little hole there. And then if you take it like this to your lips and blow air, it should pop up like a nice little balloon. Now, I do ask, please, do not fold the wings. Do not fold the wings. Do not crease the wings. Keep the wings nice and open and crinkle, like, just like this. You can even do this if you'd like to curve the wings. But I ask that you do not fold the wings. Some students or some students like to take the wings and then they do this to it. And it's just like that's like, no, it's not, that doesn't bring out the contrast or the beauty between rigid lines and then curved lines of the wings. So I hope this helps. Another thing too that you can do is down here, you see the legs, open up the legs maybe. You can go like that, pinch them out, just like this. Pinch them out. That way the bird can kind of stand a little bit on its own. Okay. All right, everybody. Good luck. Happy folding.